Alright, today we're doing long division of polynomials again, but this time we're doing it dividing by degree 2. The difference is, the other ones we saw, it was a long polynomial divided by x plus 2 or x plus 5 or x minus 1. This time it is x squared minus 1. So we can't do synthetic division. Okay, so we have to do long division. If you see a problem on your test that says, a long polynomial divided by x squared plus or minus something, you have to do it this way. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to write it out just like we always have. Okay, so we're going to do 2x cubed plus 10x squared minus 2x minus 18, all right, divided by x squared minus 1. All right, and all the steps we're going to do, we're going to take the top number, then we're going to multiply twice, then subtract twice, then repeat. All right, and a lot of this you have to use your common sense, okay? And this is why we went over how to divide exponents. Remember, when you divide exponents, you subtract them. Subtract them, please. All right? And again, we need to use common sense. We see 2x cubed and 10x squared. We're going to divide that by this first one. But later on, not to get ahead of myself, can we divide negative 2x and negative 18 divided by x squared? No, we cannot. Okay? Got to use a little bit of common sense there. So we go one at a time. Remember, we're going to multiply twice or / divide twice. All right, and then subtract twice. So again, this is where you need to just start. This needs to become second nature, dividing exponents. The first, we're going to take 2x cubed divided by x squared, and we're going to take 10x squared and divide that by x squared. And if I write it out like this, 2x cubed divided by x squared, we know that 2 is going to stay. And then when you divide exponents, x cubed and x squared, you get just 1x. 3 minus 2 is x. So we see 2x cubed divided by x squared is 2x. We're going to write that right here. It's above its like term, so we know where to start. All right. Then we're going to multiply this times this, just like long division. That's what we're doing. And we get 2x cubed. All right, and we know we're going to subtract later. But before we subtract, remember, like the step said. Sorry, y'all. Someone else stopped by again. I had to pause it real quick. Let me pick up back where we were. I see we did the first part where we divided 2x cubed divided by x squared. Remember, when we divide, we're subtracting those exponents to get 2x. Then we just multiply them again to cancel out this 2x cubed. There's no trick to that. So we do 2x times x squared, and we get 2x cubed. But we have to do it twice because, as the step said, multiply twice. So we see this 10x squared. This 10x squared, we're going to divide it by x squared. So again, 10x squared divided by x squared. That's easy. Don't overthink this. Those cancel out. We get 10. So plus 10. And again, we're writing it over this negative 18. All right. Positive 10 times x squared is 10x squared. All right. Now we're going to subtract both of these. What should we get? We should get 0. Then you might be asking, how do we do these last two terms? We're already at the end for our answer. So basically, we know whatever is left over is the remainder. We're going to take these two terms we found, okay, and multiply it by this negative 1. We've already messed with this x squared. We need to do something with this negative 1. This is why I said use your common sense. The negative 2x and the negative 18 we have left over. Can we divide that by x squared? What we've been doing? No, we can't, because we're going to get something weird. Okay? We obviously can't even divide negative 18 divided by x squared. So this is where you have to use your common sense. We know we can divide the 2x and the negative 2x and the 18. We can divide it by negative 1. All right? Let's see what we get. So we're actually going to go this way. We're going to do this positive 2x times negative 1 and put it here because they're like terms. Then we're going to take this positive 10, multiply it by negative 1, and put it here because they're like terms, and that's how we're going to get rid of it. So moving on, we're going to do this positive 2x times negative 1, and we get negative 2x. Okay? Then we take this positive 10, multiply it by negative 1, and we get negative 10. Here, now we're going to subtract. Do not forget to subtract. So when we're actually subtracting these, we're doing negative 2x minus negative 2x. And with that, we're going to add a line and change the sign. So negative 2x plus 2x is 0. That's what we wanted. All right, now negative 18 plus 10, we're going to add a line, change the sign. Negative 18 plus 10 is a negative 8. So we see this negative 8 is going to be our remainder. So 2x, before I even write the final answer, remember how we write the remainder is the remainder over what we divided by, or our divisor. Okay, so we divided by x squared minus 1. So our final answer is what we got, which is 2x plus 10, 2x plus 10, with our remainder as negative 8 over x squared minus 1. And that is our final answer. That is how you do long division of polynomials when the degree is 2 or higher. Okay, you have to use your common sense. We can obviously divide this one and this one divided by x squared, but can we divide this negative 2x and this negative 18 divided by x squared? No, we cannot, but we can do this one and this one with the negative 1. Okay, and all we're doing there will actually, whatever answer we get here, multiply it by the other term to see what we get to cancel it out. Like I said, I know this was a lot. You can start it back over and watch it. We're going to do one more together, and then you're on your own. I know they take a little bit to do. All right, so let me erase all this. Just remember, when you divide exponents, subtract them. All right, then you'll know where to start in your answer if you do the division part correct and you subtract your exponents. All right, we see it's a higher degree now. We have x cubed and then x squared. All right, let me change back to black. Looks a little bit trickier, but it's not. It's the same step. So write it out. 16x cubed plus 12x squared plus 20x plus 17. And that's all divided by 4x squared plus 3. Again, let's use our common sense. We know the first two, 16x cubed and 12x squared, can be divided by 4x squared, but the last two, 20x plus 17, cannot be divided by 4x squared. So we're going to look at the 3 when that happens. Okay? First off, let's do 16x cubed divided by 4x squared. Again, 16x cubed divided by 4x squared. That equals 4x. Because remember, 16 divided by 4 is 4. And then x cubed divided by x squared, you just subtract those. 3 minus 2 is 1. So that's 4x. And remember, I'm writing it over its like term. All right. Then 4x times 4x squared is 16x cubed. That's easy. All right, and we know we're going to subtract, but before we subtract, we need to do the second one. We need to do 12x squared. 12x squared divided by 4x squared. All right. We know these obviously cancel out. That's easy. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So that's going to be 4x plus 3. And then again, don't forget that extra step of just to finish it out, do once again 3 times 4x squared and get 12x squared. When you do this, you should get numbers that cancel out. So now we do the subtraction that we've been waiting on doing. 16x cubed minus 16x cubed and 12x squared minus 12x squared. We get 0 and 0. Now we get to that next part. Again, don't get confused here. We know we can't divide 20x and 17. We can't divide that by 4x squared. So we just ignore that. We're going to do this. We're going to do it this way. We're going to do this 4x and this 3 times this 3 here to see what we get here. All right? So 4x times 3 is 12x. All right? Then this positive 3 times this positive 3 is 9. Then from here, do not forget, we are subtracting both of them. All right? 20x minus 12x is 8x, and then 17 minus 9 is a positive 8. That is a big remainder. Might look confusing, but this is how you write it. That's it. Our final answer is 4x plus 3. That's still up here. And then our remainder looks like this, plus 8x plus 8 over what we divided by, which is this, 4x squared plus 3. 4x squared plus 3. And we are done. Hopefully the second time around, it wasn't that bad. Again, the steps, we take the first two, and we divide by this number. Again, using common sense, we know we can divide by that. When we are dividing exponents, we subtract them. 3 minus 2 is 1, 1x. And then 2 minus 2 is 0. So 16x cubed plus 12x squared divided by 4x squared each time is 4x plus 3. All right. And then we multiply them to get these, cancel them out to get 0. Then we take these two numbers and multiply it by the second term that we're dividing by to get the numbers we need to cancel it out with to see what our remainder is. 20x minus 12x and 17 minus 9. Our remainder is 8x plus 8. The way we write the final answer is 4x plus 3, and our remainder is plus 8x plus 8 divided by 4x squared plus 3. Okay? There's no tricks. Like I said, I know it's long. 2 problems took 13 minutes, but you know how to do it. Follow the steps. Use your common sense. We know the first 2 can be divided by 4x squared. If we get to a number like 20x and 17 that cannot be divided by 4x squared, we know we need to look at the next number. Okay? Finish the worksheet. Let me know if you have any questions.